Hi everybody, I'm Joe DeMers.
And I'm John Joven.
This is our video on the blues styles and blues forms for solo blues dancing. We're going to go through a series of blues movements and some rhythm variations to give you. We hope you enjoy this video. If you like it, you can visit me at www.joeandnell.com.
I don't have a website, just look for me.
Look for him. Follow us on YouTube and find us on Facebook. Here's our intro to the blues stylings of solo blues movement.
Alright, first move are the rocks. There's this really popular song called Rock Me Baby, and that is perfect. This move is perfect for that song. It looks like this. Pelvis is going forward. Arms are swinging naturally with the body movement. My weight is shifting with each rock. So forward, shift, forward, shift, forward, shift, forward, shift. And I can actually do this while stepping. And a variation is pushing your hip back in a direction, rocking from heels to toe, okay, another variation is the backwards rocks. So imagine shifting weight and then rock, rock. Same principle, but now I'm starting back rather than forward. Okay. You have the forward rock, right? To transition with the backwards rock, I like to just shift weight like here, little double pulse or slow drag, and then I'll just rock back instead of rocking forward. Looks like this, and I'm just sticking my butt back, kind of bending at the waist. There's that nice natural body motion. The arms are following with the bend of my body. Notice how my whole body is bending at the waist rather than just my butt pronating out.
This variation is the double pulse. It's probably our basic that we use in blues dancing. We can do this with a partner. We do it solo often. It looks like this, of going to the side and pulsing, and to the side and pulsing. We can have some rhythm variations to this, which we'll get to in a minute, but practice with me now. So side and pulse from the back. It looks like this, side with a pulse, side with a pulse. The timing is 1, 2, and 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 1, 2. So we're going to keep this 1, 2 timing for a while. To have a variation, we can exaggerate the and. So we can go and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. We think about extending the hip, extending the pocket to the side, extend it to the side, and having our double pulse. From the back, it looks like this. We go and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. This time, instead of doing our pulse with a step underneath, so if you watch the legs, we go pulse, step, pulse, step. It's more like a touch. So we go pulse, touch, keeping that double rhythm. We're going to switch it up and add the touch first. And so it looks like this. Instead of going pulse, touch, we're going to go touch, pulse, touch and go, touch and go, touch and go, touch and go, touch and go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. And so if we think about the difference between the two, we have the 1, 2, and. So we go 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. When we do the touch and go, we go 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. From the back, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and, versus 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So this is our double pulse. We have the touch and go, touch and go, touch and go, touch and go, touch and go. Or we have our normal basic double pulse where we just go and touch, go and touch, go and touch, go and touch. But the key is keep the timing, keep the pulse in your basic.
Here we go. Slow drag is one of the most oldest. It's one of the oldest blues dances. Looks like this, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we start on the and. So I'm going to count. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Kind of making a check mark with your belly button. Pulse, shift, pulse, shift, pulse, shift, pulse, shift. This is different from the double pulse, which has an arc. Slow drag has the same rhythm, but different shape that we're creating when we shift. Check mark, pulse, check mark, pulse, check mark, pulse. Turn around. 7 and 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Shift, pulse, shift, pulse, shift, pulse, shift, pulse. Variation that you could do with this slow drag, partnered or solo, is upper body twists. Looks like this. And 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Twist, 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 twist. I'm keeping my feet facing forward and twisting my body when I weight shift. Now this is, I'm twisting towards the weight shift. Twist, twist, shift, twist, shift, twist, shift. And you could do a twist opposite to the weight shift. So, twisting away from it. Backwards. With the shift, so basic. With the shift. Against the shift. Do that forward again. With the shift. Against the shift. Arms are at a nice relaxed place. They're not hanging down, but they're engaged. Arms that arms are in a nice relaxed place. They're not hanging down, but they're engaged. Back with the shift. Remember to maintain your pulse throughout. Shift, shift, pulse, shift, pulse, shift, pulse. And that's it.
In this section, I'm going to teach you the fishtail as I do it. The fishtail is one of the more difficult movements because of how the body needs to be positioned with the timing. The timing is 1, 2, and Here's what a fishtail looks like. We go 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2. We can move back, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1. We can move forward, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and from the back view, it looks like this. We go, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2. We can go forward, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1. We can go backwards, and 1, 2, 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 and. To break down this movement, it looks like this, and practice it with me so that way you can get a feel for the movement. The first key is that we're shifting from the left side to the right side, from the left side to the right side. And each time we do our fishtail, it takes 2 counts. And so, as we shift to the right, we're going to let our hips go in that direction. So we go to the right, and we step down. So we go down, okay? Down, down. And so that's the first of the 2 counts. And so we go down, and we move the hip out. So we go 1, 2. We go 1, 2. Again, I'm letting my feet turn so I can go backwards comfortably. If you don't let your feet turn, you're going to get your knees twisted in a funky position. And so we go 1, 2. Now on the and, we have to turn so we can go the opposite direction. So on our right foot, we're going to turn 1, 2. So we go and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. Now there are some variations to doing this. You can twist on your toe. I twist on my heel. I go like this. I go 1, 2, heel, 1, 2, heel, 1, 2, heel, 1, 2. Now, like we practiced earlier, we can move forward and back with our movement. And so when we go backwards, we're going to think about stepping to the corner. We have 4 corners. We're in a box. So we're going to step back to the right corner. We go down, out. When we collect our and, we got to shift our body to go to the left corner. And, down, out. So we have and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. We can go to the forward corner. Now when we go forward, we have to turn more. And so we're here, we have to turn so we can show our hip to that corner. Turn, hip to the corner. So and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. Now, with this movement, we have some variations. For example, we can collect the knees. We can go 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. Maybe you can leave your knees apart. And so 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. That variation is up to you. We can also accentuate the hands, accentuate the movement with the hands. And so, think maybe about playing the drums. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. Maybe another masculine movement and then a feminine afterward. A masculine movement is making a fist and rolling the fists out like this. And so we can go and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. A feminine movement would be to have the hands open, and so, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Think about a softer movement. Maybe the ladies can bring up their hands, da, and da, da. Bring up their hands. Maybe the hands down the body, bringing them out, ba, da, We can also have some rhythm variations in our fishtail. So maybe a fishtail with a triple step. And so we can go, and we start behind. So watch it first. Behind and down, out. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. And so to keep a consistent timing, it looks like this. We go 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. We can also add some hip action to it as well. 1 and 2, ba, ba, da, do, and a little bit stronger hip accent in the fishtail. Think about also how you rotate with the body. The body should be, the back arm, okay, should go against the hip so we can have some contra-body in our movement. And so as I do our fishtail here, I twist into it and my top half is rotating against the hip. So we have contra-body movement. And so we go down, out, I have my contra-body movement. We're going to switch contra-body to the other side, down, out, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8. And it feels natural when we get the hips and the feet twisting with the body, so that way we can accomplish this fishtail.
Hip-tacularness in slow drag. Check it. You got your basic slow drag. Now you add the hips. Shift and hip. Shift and hip. Shift and hip. Shift. So in place of this pulse in the middle, we add a hip, 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 hit, hip, hit. Break it down. The hip hit starts with one leg straight, one leg bent, and you are pushing, pushing, pushing. Pushing that hip up. Shift, push it up. Shift, push it up. Push it up. It's like slamming a car door that wasn't fully closed. Okay? Shift, hit and shift, hit and shift. Okay, another variation is you could do this standing still, but with a level change. So you've got hip, up and down. Up and down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, shift. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 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 So you're shifting on the 4.
Now we're going to practice our rolls. We have rolls in the body that go from the top down the body. We have rolls in the body that go from down and go up. And we have our rolls that we go side to side with. We're going to practice these rolls, talk about how they fit into the blues aesthetic and the blues rhythms. But first, before any of that, let's just start practicing. And so, to start the roll that goes down the body, we're going to start with the chest, okay? We want to start relaxed, okay, in a neutral posture, a neutral position. We're going to lift up the chest. Now, as we lift up the chest, everything underneath is going to be back, okay? This is going to allow us to do our contra-body movement. So now, as we transfer from the chest to the stomach, we're going to push out the stomach and collapse the chest. It really helps to accentuate this part of the roll. And so we go chest to stomach, and from the stomach we're going to move down to the hips. And so as the hips go forward, we collapse the stomach back. And once we get to the end, we're just going to release the hips and sit down. And so we're going to go up with the chest, out with the stomach, out with the hips, sit down to finish our movement. And so we can take this into 4 counts. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the idea is to get it pretty smooth throughout the roll of the body. And so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's practice it in 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We can also do 2 counts. 1, 2, 1, 2. We can also do our roll, again, as we said earlier, from the hips up to the chest. And so we start in a seated neutral position. We're going to push out the hips. As we have the hips out, we're letting the stomach come back, so that way this part of the body can be accentuated. So now from the hips, we're going to push out the stomach. Now, as you're here, you're pulling the hips back, and you're starting to pull the chest back. And then we roll up from the stomach to the chest, so the chest can go out. Everything else goes back, and we release it with the shoulders. And so we go hips to stomach to chest, release at the shoulders. So we start down, hips, stomach, chest, shoulders. Hips, stomach, chest, shoulders. In 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 2 counts. We go 1, 2, 1, 2. So we can take these rolls and we can go down the body and up the body, down the body, reverse and go up the body, down the body, and up the body. We include a lot of these rolls in our movement. Let's first practice the side roll, and then I'll give you an example of a movement that includes the blues rhythm. So our side roll, if you imagine, you're driving a car in the 80s where you're going to toss the head, boom, ba, boom, ba. It's the same thing. So from the back view, let's start with the head. Let's get the head involved. We're going to throw it to the side and roll the body over. Throw the head and roll the body over. So we roll to the side and roll to the side. To give this timing, it would be and is the prep finish through on 1, 2. So we go and 1, 2. And prep the body, 1, 2. And 1, 2. And 1, 2. So once we have that practiced, we can then take out the head and just start with the shoulders. Imagine doing a side roll with a partner and you're like, hey, it's a little funny. And so let's take out the head and just initiate this roll with the shoulders. So we're going to roll to the side and roll to the side. Still the and timing. And 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2. We can add a variation to this movement. And add a stomp. So we're going to roll, stomp on 2, so it's a faster roll. So we go 1, 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. Okay? And 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. We practice spectacular hips with John, and so we're going to add those hip bumps to our roll right now. And so we're going to go roll, down, up, down, and 1 and 2. Okay, so it's a little faster timing. And 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. So as we go, and 1 and 2, 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 and 1 and 2. So now we can take this and we can transition between our 3 side rolls. So we have the smooth roll, the roll with the stomp, and then the roll with the hip bump. Okay? And so as we do this, we can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 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 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2.
More hip-tacular movement. Check it. Stomp forward, backwards, backwards, backwards. I'm drawing a circle over my plant foot. Circle, circle. You could do it the other way, forward. Boom, boom. My weight is back when I begin, and I go forward, the same way, the other way. Now you can take this around in a circle. Step, round, step, round, step, round, step, round, step, round, step, round. Whew. Next thing, mooches. From standing in place, bring your hip up and down. Hip up, down, hip up, down, hip up, down. I'm making an arch with my hip going to the outside. So inside, out, inside, out, inside, out, inside, out. Now you can take this going forward by taking the step, forward, step, forward. Try it again. Around, up, taking my step forward the entire time. And then another variation of this is you start with your foot forward and out, forward and out, forward and out, forward and out. Okay, one more time. I'll do it from the back. Forward and out, forward and out, forward and out, forward and out. Okay, you can start with your posture in the back and you'll do shuffles forward. Check it out. Shuffle, forward, shuffle, forward, shuffle, forward, shuffle, forward. Again, one more time, forward. Scuff, forward, scuff, forward. Here we go, from the back. Scuff, forward. I'm actually scuffing the floor with my foot and letting it drop. Scuff, drop. Scuff, drop. Another posture is with your hips back. So you start with your hips back. Forward, forward, step, forward, step, forward. Here. Weight back, leg forward, step, forward, step, forward, step, forward. Here we go, from the front. Step, forward, step, forward, step, forward, step, forward. Whew. Then you can do double swirls with your hips. Double swirls. I'm going to the right. You can go outward as well. 1, 2, step, 1, 2, step, 1, 2, step, 1, 2. For the back, it's step 1, 2, step 1, 2, step 1, 2, step 1, 2. And then you can change your orientation of your body. So instead of just doing this facing forward, we can turn our shoulders as soon as I turn my legs, I'm turning my body as well. So it's like my legs are leading the upper part of my body to turn.
Next, let's practice figure eights, knee knocks, and James Brown. And so to start with the figure eight, we're going to make an 8 with the hips, okay? But we're going to watch this from the back. And so think about this first. Think about committing your weight one side to the ball of the foot, the other side to the ball of the foot. And so we're going to start by shifting our weight forward and back, and then forward and back. And now as you start shifting your weight, we can then start adding a twist as we continue this forward and back. Forward and back. Now if you let your knees come in, this isn't always the best for your knees, okay? And so think about shifting your weight, and shifting your weight, and shifting your weight. And then As we shift our weight, we bring our hip back with our body. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we go back with the 8s, back with the 8s, back with the 8s. Again, shifting our weight back as we come around, back as we come around. So you can do your forward 8s and your backwards 8s. From the front view, going forward and around, forward and around. If you think about your upper body, if you think about salsa, they have the arms doing contra body. We do the same thing. So as we go forward, we're letting our contra body occur. And forward, our contra body occur. So keep your arms moving with your body. Especially if we want to take this into partner dancing, our partner will follow our figure 8s based on our contra body, because our contra body is doing an 8 against the hip movement. And again, we can come around and around, so going backwards this time, or going forward with the 8 and forward with the 8, having a little bit of a twist in the hips and in the body, so that way when we get with a partner, it feels good and it's clear to lead and follow. The next movement I want to do will be knee knocks, and we put the knee in, okay, and we're on the toe, and as we twist the knee out, we're going to put our heel down. So we put our heel down, turn the body. So we go toe, turn, toe, turn, toe, turn, toe, turn, toe, turn, toe, turn, toe, turn. Notice that for these, we're going to be bent at the hips. Knee in, stepping on the toe, turn, toe, turn. Now as we turn, we can put our heel down. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. We can exaggerate this movement by opening up the shoulder. And so we can go in, open, in, open, in, open, in, open. And if we were to do this with a partner, we call it knee knocks because you have your partner right here, and it feels like you're going to knock knees. Okay? So once you have your knee knocks, we're now going to transition into the James Brown foot swivel. Okay? If you think about James Brown, he goes across the floor, swiveling his foot, letting one drag. Okay? Going the opposite direction, swiveling his foot, letting the other drag. Now, there are a couple ways to do this. You could think about it firstly from the foot. Okay? That we're going out with the toe, then the heel. Toe, heel. Toe, heel, toe, heel. And it feels like you're being dragged along. Okay, in this direction, same thing. Toe, heel. Toe, heel. Toe, heel. Toe, heel. Now, we can keep up a faster timing, but still keep the toe, heel. Toe, heel, 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 toe, heel. If you want to get a little bit of energy into it, you can sink down and push, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Sink down and push, and a faster foot swivel. We're letting this leg be relaxed as we're doing our foot swivel. You can think of it from the knee, right? Because the knee goes out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, going this way, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. You can add a variation of the hip and rolling the hip as we do this. And so rolling the hip as you do this, move, going this way, same thing, rolling the hip as we do this, move, and making little hip circles around for our James Brown movement.
Camel walks. We'll start with the single. Looks like this. With the right foot. Step, step, scoot, step, scoot, step, scoot. Now, you need, you can do it two ways. You can let your forward foot drag you, or your back foot scoot underneath. So here's the drag. Drag, 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 or the scoot, where I'm scooting my back foot underneath my front foot. Step, scoot, step, scoot, step, scoot. Okay. Now there's the switching. Looks like this. What I like to say in my head when I do this is slide, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch. Now with every slide, there's an ankle up. So slide, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch. Okay, another room. Slide, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch, slide, slide, switch, slide, switch. That's the camel walk. Exaggerated posture. So you can just go, ha! Really exaggerate your shoulders. Doing it both sides, it's going to be like this. Every time you step forward, you lean down. Step forward, down. Every time you scoot, you bring it back up. Again. Down, up, switch, down, up, switch, down, up, switch. Camel walks. Low downs. You start out with your plant foot down, slide out, slide in, replace, slide in, replace, slide in, replace, slide in, replace. Slide out, slide in, replace, slide in, replace, slide in, replace, slide in, replace, slide in, place, slide in, replace. Now you can add a stomp to that slide in, or the slide out actually. It looks like this. Slide out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Watch my heel as I bring it out. Okay. Now we can add the arms to this. So, slide out. You can add any angle. Do it from the outside. And slide in. Slide into place. Slide into place. Change your orientation. Okay. Next thing. Breezy knees. Looks like this. Just let your knees relax. You can do it fast. You can do it slow. You could add your arms. Then you could add the crazy legs. Looks like this. So step, 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 step. So it's two knee wobbles per step. Boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba. And you can do it traveling. You could even do it in partner solo. So those are the knee knocks and the breezy knees.